positive for it. It is thought that she is the spreader here. I don't know if that's still an active thought, but she does have it. It's thought that's where the president and the first lady came down with it, at least the last I saw of this. Anyway, before I go to the break very quickly, we, speaking for myself and people I know, and many of you, we love Donald Trump. We love and support him. We continue to invest in him because of his continued fight for us and for the country and for the American people. He's the only one engaging in it. I mean, there might be some other Republicans that are on the same page and making the effort, but he's the leader. He's the one that gives everybody the freedom to move and the cover, and he's unwavering in his professed love for and support for this country. And I'm going to have some thoughts on what this election's really all about. You want to make it as simple as you can for people. So that's coming up. If I had a medal to give Donald Trump, I would give him one. Sadly, I don't. But if I did, I would. We wish him and the First Lady the best, speedy recovery and so forth. We'll deal with some of the hate that's out there next when we get back, so don't go away.
News Radio.
Barrett has also tested negative for the virus. She has been in contact with Senators Mike Lee, who have tested positive for it. So I think there's a lot of people that will be announcing the results of tests. I just saw Chris Wallace on Fox. He's not going to get. He was at the debate too. You might have remembered him. He was the moderator. And he said he's not going to get tested until Monday, he and his wife, because you got to wait. You got to wait for stuff to happen and settle in out there. It doesn't necessarily show up within a day or two of coming into contact with someone who has the virus. A lot of people are taking the occasion now of the president's contracting COVID-19 and the First Lady to say that he didn't wear the mask. It's obvious it's the mask that's the problem. If he had just worn the mask, this wouldn't have happened. They say he's the most protected human being on Earth. He lives in the most secure bubble of any human being on Earth. Everybody that has a meeting with Trump, everybody that's going to be in the same room with him, has to get tested for COVID-19 before they're allowed in. And still, he got it. Still, the First Lady got it. And some are saying that just proves that you got to wear the mask. That just proves you got to listen to the science. And I don't know, does it? Would the president wearing can anybody conclusively say that he would not have gotten COVID-19 had he been wearing a mask at all of these meetings and places and rallies and fundraisers and so forth that he had attended? Grab soundbite number 21. This is David Rodham Gergen today on CNN. The anchor John King said, what goes through your mind on this day when you think about where we are in the calendar and the consequential election that's just ahead?
If the president and the White House come out and show some humility about this, to recognize, in fact, that they could have done a better job, I think it's going to go one way. If, on the other hand, what we see is the president within just a few days bouncing into our living rooms by television and saying, I'm the guy who beat COVID. I'm just staying here for extra caution's sake, but I took it like a man, and everybody else can do it, and we've turned a corner. If he's defiant, in other words, I think it's going to go a very different way. And I don't think the public will have much sympathy for him.
Now, what must you be thinking if that is the way you're thinking he's going to react to it? That's David Rodham Gergen, former Clinton advisor, former Bush advisor, he's Mr. Washington Conventional Wisdom. If you want to know what the conventional wisdom is on any given day, topic in Washington, D.C., just find out what David Rodham Gergen is saying about it. He says, if he has some humility here, could be okay. But if what we see is a president within just a few days bouncing back into our living rooms on television saying, I'm the guy that beat COVID. And if I can do it, everybody can do it. If he's defiant, in other words, I think he's going to go a very different way. Don't think the public will have much sympathy for him whatsoever if he turns into a braggart about having beaten COVID-19. This has been one of the, ever since the campaign of 2016, the one thing that Trump critics have thrown at him is constantly is that he has no humility. And he does. And it's on parade, maybe fleeting, but you can see it in every one of his rallies. He has humility and he's got empathy, but the humility is, it's on display. You can see him. He fully thanks everybody for showing up. He lets them know, his supporters, the crowds, he lets them know how much he appreciates it, how much it means to him. He may say it in 30 seconds, he may say it in 10 seconds, but he lets these people know, and his supporters know it. Now, Michael Moore thinks that Trump may be lying about it, that he doesn't have COVID-19, that he's making it all up just to get some sympathy because he knows he's losing the presidential election. Michael Moore floated the theory that Trump could be lying about having COVID-19 to prepare us and to counteract his game and to gain sympathy ahead of the election. He said Democrats, liberals, the media, and others have always been wrong to simply treat Trump as a buffoon, as a dummy, as a jackass. Yeah, he's all those things, but he's also canny. He's clever. He outfoxed Comey. Sorry, it hurts to laugh. He outfoxed Comey. He outfoxed Mueller. There was nothing to outfox Mr. Moore. There was no evidence. He didn't outfox anybody. That was, in fact, well, we don't want to go down that road again. We've been down the road. It was so damn dangerous what they were trying to do. They were trying, literally, to have a guy convicted, thrown in jail without any evidence whatsoever of any crime having occurred. They were making it all up. It was the most scandalous thing to happen in Washington in my lifetime. That whole Russian collusion, meddling in the election thing. Trump didn't outfox anybody. And I'm not trying to take anything away from him. There was nothing to outfox. Those people had no evidence. Now, you might say, well, Rush, it was still a monumental achievement. You got the whole town of Washington. You got the whole government gunning for you, and you still beat them back. Yeah, I'll acknowledge that. But he did not fox anybody. Anyway, Michael Moore believes, the point is, Michael Moore's proving the point of it. Whatever, you hate him, you love him, he's still invincible to you. You still can't lay a glove on him. He outfoxed Comey. Comey is now so humiliated and embarrassed that Comey's running around. I don't remember. I don't recall. You remember James Comey was Mr. Government, Mr. Honorable, Mr. Last Man in Washington. You can trust this guy was so. You want to talk about no humility. You want to talk about no grace. You want to talk about no empathy. James Comey was one of the most falsely manufactured images of purity that we have ever had in government or in Washington. This guy lived off what is obviously now a totally contrived reputation for honor and integrity. What's he been reduced to? Hillary Clinton, I don't know. My mind is yellow. I can't recall. I don't remember. It's his only way out. I don't remember. And yet for 3 years, James Comey's assuring everybody that Trump is a Russian agent, that Trump is a traitor. Anyway, as far as Michael Moore is concerned, he's outfoxed all these guys. He outfoxed 20 Republicans in the Republican primary. And then he did the same thing to Democrats when he won the White House, despite receiving fewer popular votes than Hillary Clinton. Moore said he's an evil genius, and I raised the possibility of him lying about having COVID-19 to prepare us and to counteract his game. He knows being sick tends to gain someone's sympathy. He's not above weaponizing this. This is a Facebook post, by the way, put up just hours after Trump announced that he and the First Lady have COVID-19 early this morning. Yeah, he's losing the elections. He needs to do something here to rebound really quickly, so he could just be making all of this up. The New York Times is beside itself. Two things. Here's a Newt Gingrich tweet. Just when you think the New York Times can't get any dumber, they tweet this. If Trump becomes sick, it could raise questions about whether he should remain on the ballot at all. You have Pelosi out there now saying Trump ought not even debate anymore. This is the end of it. Biden needs to not debate anymore. To put a lid on it. No more debates. For a guy that won the debate hands down, they sure seem eager not to do any more of them. Times reporters Peter Baker and Maggie Haberman say that Trump's positive test throws the nation's leadership into uncertainty. And then the New York Times had an editorial calling Trump's infection the result of his deadly, foolish recklessness. No matter how you feel about Trump's performance as president, we feel pretty strongly that it's been a disaster, writes the Times. This is another crisis for a nation reeling from a year that almost seems apocalyptic. Trump's impeachment, COVID-19, a popular outcry over racial injustice, the deaths of John Lewis and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, catastrophic wildfires, and now this. A reckless president whose irresponsibility has endangered not only himself and his family, but the stability of the country by throwing the executive branch into chaos. Another crisis, this one fully of Trump's own making. What do they want to do? They want to throw him out of office. They want to get him out. They want to get rid of Pence. They want to install Pelosi. And Pelosi's even keen to the idea.
Rush Limbaugh, because we know for you only the best will do. On the EIB Network. News Radio.